Are you ready to find your voice, fulfill your purpose, build unstoppable confidence? And are you ready to learn how to trust, accept, and love yourself enough to do the work to create what you want in life? Oh, and do you want to learn how to do it without burning yourself out, sacrificing what matters most, or compromising on your values? Then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Crystal Stanton, a certified coach, human design enthusiast, entrepreneur, and podcast host on a mission to guide women into their true, authentic success, to help them recognize their power and to step out from the shadows and into the woman they were always meant to be. Around here, we don't do grey, unaligned versions of our life. We don't settle for what we should be happy with. Around here, we do big, bold, courageous, fulfilled, rich lives, and we do it in an aligned, nourished, and truly authentic way. If that sounds like the life you want, then stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Okay, everybody, I have a little secret that I need to let you all in on. Now, you know that I am all about feeling good, staying energized, and keeping my mind sharp so I can go out there and live my own fearless life and create my life by design while being able to meet and serve others. So, I have found something that helps me to do that amongst the chaos of holding it all, right? If you're anything like me, you are in a transition period. Maybe you're moving from one career to another. Maybe you're building your own business. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you are juggling multiple hats all at the same time. And whilst we know that we have to support our mind, body, soul, our nervous system with the right habits, standards, routines, to help us feel our best, sometimes we just need something a little bit extra to help fill those gaps in the chaos of life, right? Well, I have found something that does all of that and more, and it's called Happy Juice by Amar, the mental wellness company. It is a total game changer. Now, I have to admit that when I first heard about Happy Juice, I was very skeptical and I really didn't think that it was going to live up to the hype that I had heard all about it. Now, I have to tell you that I am a changed woman. I have been my mindset about this has been completely changed. I've been using Happy Juice now, drinking Happy Juice now for about 3 months, and honestly, the results speak for themselves. So what is it? Well, basically, Happy Juice is a delicious drink that is packed with science-backed nutrients that support your gut-brain connection. Because when your gut is happy, your mind follows. So what it does is it helps boost your mood, sharpen your mental clarity, and give you sustained energy without the jitters or crash of something like coffee. Plus, it also is going to help you manage your stress, improve your motivation, and support your overall mental well-being naturally. There are no synthetic ingredients inside this drink, which is something that is really important to me. I have personally been loving how much more focused, balanced, and energized I feel throughout the day, especially juggling a business, 2 kids, Evie starting school, juggling multiple rehearsals for my creative endeavors and pursuits that I'm in, as well as recording the podcast. So I have really, really loved how this drink, this really simple tool in my toolkit, has been helping me to fill the gaps and support me as I go out there and create this incredible dream life that I am chasing. So if you want to experience it for yourself, head over to the show notes. There is a link if you are overseas, say in the USA, and there is a link if you are here in Australia, New Zealand. Go and grab yourself some Happy Juice today. You will get $10 off using my link down in the show notes. So cheers to feeling amazing inside and out. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought, so please leave a comment or a review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. And your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing. Okay, welcome to another episode of Fearless. We're going to dive straight in today and continue our series on consistency by design. So last episode, I did say we were going to move into, what did I say we were going to do? Centers, but we haven't talked about profile lines yet, and I didn't do profile lines when I did my original introduction to human design series either. So we're going to go to profile lines first, and then we're going to go to centers next. The centers are so helpful and so important. And to be honest, understanding the definition in your centers is more helpful for you, especially in terms of consistency, than really just focusing on your type. Even in your human design journey, like, type is great. It's a great starting point. It's very macro. It's very easy to understand and grab onto when you're first learning. But there is so much variation in type dependent on your centers. So anyway, we're going to talk about that in the next episode. But before we go there, I want to talk about profile lines. So in human design, there are 6 profile lines. And the profile lines, everybody has 2 profile lines that come from the personality side and the design side of our chart. So if you are line 1, you'll probably want to know where they come from. So if you're looking at your chart, and if you did get your chart from my website, you will definitely have down the side like a greeny colored column and a purple column. So one will say design, that's on the left hand side of your chart, and one will say personality, and that's on the right hand side of your chart. The very first set of numbers, so there'll be like a number and then a decimal point on either side. So that number after the decimal point, those are your profile lines. So the first one comes from the right hand side, which is your personality side, and the second number in your profile comes from the left hand side, which is the design side. So these numbers come together, and one way that I've heard it described is they're basically the way that they come together and interact together. They create the costume of your purpose. So they're really like the how you are here to do things, how you're going to do it. So, at the macro level of your type, if you're a manifestor, you're here to initiate people into action, right? And like show people new ways to do things. But how you're going to do that is going to be through your profile lines. They're essentially like your foundational characters that shape your personality and your life path. So who you are and what you're here to do and how you're going to do it is where your profile lines come in. So everyone has the 2 profile lines, and together they create that really unique role that you're here to play in this game of life, right? In this show called life. So in terms of this series around consistency by design, where your profile lines come in is around the understanding that your consistency doesn't need to look like anybody else's. It's going to be aligned with your life path and what you're here to do and how you're here to do it. So that's really going to play into your consistency. Your profile shows your personality role, and the different lines have very different energetic rhythms, okay? And some are sort of like really long term and have different phases. Anyway, we're going to go through all of that, okay? Now, I'm not going to do the 12 combinations. I'm just going to do the 6 lines on their own. If you do want to dive more into the combinations and deeper into your design, then that is what the Fearless Collective is for. Or you can reach out to me about my new one-on-one program, my 14-week program. And that is designed to help you not just learn about human design, but live it, as well as, all of the tools and the things that you need to be able to align, empower, and transform your life. So today we're just going to go through the 6 lines themselves, a little bit about like their core themes, what drives them, what they're sort of here to do in this lifetime, and then how consistency plays out for them. Okay. So line 1, quite often referred to as the Investigator. And what you're really here, your like core theme is foundation and security. So you are a foundational line. And for you, your foundation is built on knowledge. Okay, so it's a foundational line around knowledge. And once you have the foundational understanding, that helps you create security. Your core drive is that you need to know something before you move. Okay, so you're that person that just like craves knowledge and really deep understanding. So you're like the complete opposite of me, where you're like, I have to understand every micro detail before I can move it into action. I'm like, give me the broad strokes and I'm good to go. Like, let me listen to one podcast episode and I'm off. But you want to get deep. Right? You're the like, I need to know why. I need to understand why person. So you love to research and you love to feel prepared for things. And you build really strong foundations by studying and mastering topics. And then those topics that you learn creates for you, what's the word I'm looking for? Authority. Okay, so you are born an authority, right? You just have that energy as a line 1 of being an authority. But what your authority is going to be around is what you spend time studying and mastering. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing as a line 1, studying and mastering topics, and then you become an authority in that topic and you go forth and share that knowledge with the world. So for you, in terms of like consistency, if you want to start putting something into practice and implementing something and integrating it and embodying it, you really need time to go deep. So you are probably not necessarily that person that's just going to pick something up and run with it straight away, right? You need the time to go deep, to have that foundational understanding and knowledge. And so for you, consistency is going to come from research and that inner stability that, okay, I have all of the knowledge, now I can move forward, right? And then I can be consistent from there. If you feel like you have gaps in your knowledge, you're going to freeze. You're going to not want to move forward and do anything. So it is really important to you. You do have to be mindful though that you don't get stuck in a shadow of, I never have enough information, I never know enough, right? Because that's something a line 1 can end up doing. They like get so like in the rabbit hole, in the loop of craving more knowledge, that they never feel like they actually have enough knowledge to move forward, but you do. Trust me, you do, because you've probably read like 10,000 more books and listened to 500 more episodes and done 5,000 more courses than all of the people you're paying to do the work with. But you just don't believe in yourself that you have enough knowledge yet, but you do. So if you have spent the time to go deep, you are now ready to be consistent and move forward and implement. Okay, line 2s. So this is one of my profile lines. So line 2s are sometimes referred to as the hermit, but they're also referred to as the natural talent. Okay, so for someone who is a line 2, you are naturally talented at what you are here to do. Okay, so it's not like, and it took me a long time to accept that word natural talent, because I'm like, well, what do you mean? I can't just do things. I've had to work and be persistent and, be committed to learning things. Like that felt really dismissive, to just be like, oh, I'm just naturally talented at things. But the thing is, you learn things easily if they're the things you're here to learn, if they're the things you're here to do. So it will feel easier for you to learn something if it's something you're meant to learn, and it will feel really hard and difficult if it's not something you're meant to learn, right? So it's not that you don't need to focus and be disciplined and committed to what you're learning and practice, right? You don't just pop out with all the skills. You still have to do the same process of repetition, frequency of repetition to learn things, but it's going to be easier for you to pick up the skills and the things you're here, the skills and the knowledge, the wisdom, that you're here, the capabilities that you're here to learn, okay? So few themes are natural talent and simplicity. If you are aligned to, I know you'll hear them like, simplicity. And now here is your core drive as aligned to. I just want to be in my flow. And quite often, you want to be in your flow on your own. So this is the thing for line twos. You're really naturally talented at things. You have these like innate gifts, but you don't always recognize them yourself. And I go into this a lot deeper inside my Born That Way mini course. So if you want to go deeper into all of these areas, and you're not ready to dive into the Fearless Collective membership yet, go down to the show notes and go and check out my mini course. It's going to go a lot deeper into these and give more examples. In a podcast, I want to give as much information as I can, but I also want to keep it brief enough so that people listening can get what they need for their profile and keep going. Okay, I don't like to make these too long. But line twos, you have this thing where you're really naturally talented, but you're not always able to recognize what those talents are. So what happens is you get called out by other people to share your gifts. But at the same time, a lot of the time you're like, ew, go away. What do you mean? Like, I don't want to do that, right? Like you're like, ugh, because you need alone time to recharge and align. So what happens for you is you sort of like, this is why you're called the hermit. You will find something that you love or something new, or a gift, and you sort of need to retreat and be alone to recharge and to align and to learn that thing, right? So you learn that thing, and then someone's going to call you out to share that gift. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're really good at XYZ. Can you come and do this for me? Or can you share that with me? Or you'll just find like in conversation, it just naturally happens. But then you need to go back into your cave as a little hermit and like recharge, because like, whew, that was a lot. Okay. So for you, as a line two, you work best in natural, effortless bursts. Okay, so you like in flow. Like when you're in flow, go. When it feels effortless, it's just a burst of like, oh, let's do all the things, good. But then you need alone time to maintain that flow. And as someone with a line two, I feel this in my bones. Okay, I feel this in my bones, particularly with what I do now, right? So I became a mother, and then the second time round, I decided I don't want to teach anymore. I want to build something for myself so I can be home with my kids. And this was before I knew anything about human design. But at the same time, I was then home with my kids, trying to build a business with my kids. And I was like, I can't do this. This is horrible. I feel like I'm drowning. I can't do this. I can't. I'm like, I just get into the flow of creating something, and then mom, and I'm like, fuck, the whole idea's gone. It's gone. It's done. I'm over it. And as a mother, especially early on, before I had any tools or any knowledge, I would get touched out. Like the day would start and I was touched out. And by the time Brent would get home, I'd just be like, don't even talk to me, because I've had no alone time, because I've had these children attached to me all day long, which makes it sound like I don't enjoy motherhood, but that's not true. It's just that I need alone time to maintain my flow. And if I don't get alone time, then that's when I'm going to dip into my not self theme as a manifesting generator of feeling frustrated, right? So to maintain my flow, I need alone time. So I know that now. So now I don't work when my girls are around, because I know it's not going to help me maintain my flow. I really need to work in isolation. And then when I'm called out to share my gifts, I can do that because I've had that time alone to sort of realign and recharge. Okay, so line threes. I have 3 line 3s in my household. My husband and both my girls are line 3s in different positions, but they're line 3s. So the line 3 can often be referred to as the martyr, but what I like more is to refer to them as the experimenter, right? Their theme is trial and error. Okay, so where mine is like natural talent, right? Natural talent and simplicity, theirs is trial and error. So I'm sure you can already be like, oh, I can see where some potential friction comes up in that household. Because their core drive is I learn by living it. So they like have to learn through experience. And a really important part of that is making mistakes, right? They have to learn through experience. They have to be able to make the mistakes. It does take a while to develop skills and knowledge and wisdom because you got to go through it and experience it to understand it, right? But what makes a line 3 so amazing is that they are so adaptable and so resilient and so likable. Like honestly, someone who's a line 3, they've been in it, they've been through it, so they've walked in your shoes. Like when you're in the presence of a line 3, you're like, oh, you get me, and I know you get me, and I know you know what this feels like because I know you've been there as well. So they're really likable people. So literally what a line 3 is here to do is experiment. So they're here to test, experiment, and through that experiment and that lived experience, refine things in the real world, right? So even though it can feel hard, and this is why sometimes they're referred to as the martyr, because it can be hard not to dip into the victimhood of like, why do I have to do everything the hard way? Like, why are things always so hard? Why do I always have to learn, through mistakes, blah, blah, blah. It's actually a superpower because then you figure out the right way to do things and you can like quantum leap time for people because you're like, this doesn't work, but this does. Like I've tried this, trust me, I've tried all these, none of those work. This is the thing that you need, right? So you have this real trial and error rhythm, okay? So for you, consistency is going to be about showing up and not getting it right, and then retreating, and then showing up again and not getting it right and retreating until you figure it out. So what could potentially happen for someone who is a line 3 who's trying consistency in the traditional sense is you might show up and not get it right and then be like, oh, well, it doesn't work for me, and then quit, right? And be like, oh, this doesn't work, so I'm not doing it anymore. But remember, you have to come at it multiple times from different ways and different angles to figure out what your rhythm is, to refine it to how it really does work, the best way to do it. Okay, line 4s. Oh, so when I was talking about how everyone else in my house is a line 3 and I'm a line 2, it's really funny, especially for the girls. I really actively be mindful about this because I know all children, learn by doing, but like my kids actually have to. Like I can't show them how to do it. That's a waste of my time and it's a waste of their time. They actually have to learn by doing it. They have to learn through experience and experimenting. And that means a lot of mess in my house. That means a lot of frustration at how long things take, because if I do it for them or I show them how to do it, it's a waste of my energy. They have to do it. They won't learn it. They can only learn by living it, by doing it. Here I am as a line 2. I'm like, no, you just do it this way. You just do it like this. Simple, natural, you just do it like this. And they're like, no, mummy, I'm going to try it this way. And then I have to go and let them do it and go through the whole process of them doing it and it not getting it right. And then coming back and being like, okay, can we try it this way now? And they're like, okay, we'll try it this way. But that's their process. And I can't interrupt that because if they can honor that process, oh my God, the things they're going to discover and create for the world, next level. So now my line 4s. This is another foundational line like the line 1, but where the line 1 is foundational knowledge, line 4s, your foundation comes from the relationships you have. Okay, so relationships are so important. They are like they are it for you. Whether if you are in resourceful relationships or unresourceful relationships will really impact determine whether you're successful in life or not. Okay, they are that important for you as a line 4. You're sort of referred to as the opportunist because relationships and influence are your jam, right? Your core drive is that you grow through your network. I grow through my network. Okay, so if you're a line 4, you are naturally influential, right? You just naturally are influential within your community. And you're sort of like a line 4 is sort of like that person that leads from the middle of the group. So they're not necessarily at the front of the pack leading, but they are just like the epicenter of a group, right? So there might be like all these people that are related, but they're all going to be related through this one person, this line 4, right? So naturally influential within your community. You need really strong relationships and trust within those relationships to thrive. Your closest relationships are so important because if you don't feel safe in your closest relationships, you will not feel safe to go out there and build community and network. And that's literally where your opportunities come from. So for you, opportunities most of the time are going to come through who you know. So I have a previous client, and as happens with most of my clients, they keep in touch because they know that they're not a number to me, and I really genuinely care about their success and want to see how they go, even if we're not working together anymore. So I have this beautiful previous client who I supported in starting her business. She had this idea and I thought it was amazing. She thought it was amazing, and we worked together on actually launching this business that she has. I'll put her link down in the show notes because it's so cool. She's created a brand all around empowering mothers, but particularly like breastfeeding women, but mothers in general, to feel empowered to get back out into the great outdoors and feel comfortable in their body while doing it. And her flagship product is a breastfeeding friendly fishing shirt. Now, some people will be like, I don't even know what the F that is. But if you live in Queensland, anywhere from like, I don't know, probably like Rockhampton North, you live most of your life in a fishing shirt. So outdoor shirts, right? So there, anyway, go and check her out. Not the point of the story. I'm going on a tangent, but it's just so cool. So go and check it out. But she is a line 4. And she recently reached out to share with me that she has started doing some like, what are they called? My brain is not working today. Like, not markets, but expos. So like mother, baby, kid expos. And as soon as she messaged me and told me she did that, I was like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. That is like perfect for you, because she's been building that business in complete isolation. But she's a line 4. She needs people. She needs community. She needs lines. How you are here to do the thing you're here to do is so important, because you might be building your business or trying to move forward in your career in a way that's completely unaligned to you, right? If you're a line 4 building something in isolation with no team, no network, no community, you are going to hate it. Like you're not going to be enjoying it, whether you're telling yourself you are or not. You're not, because you're missing a core component, which is that you are here to network. So she's done one, and just from that one, she's like, oh, I made like a few sales, but I made this connection, and I linked up with, this Outback midwife, and so she's going to buy some shirts, and we can do some stuff there. It's like all of these connections, and for her, opportunity comes through who she knows. So going out and being at these expos, which are literally networking events, are going to create so many more opportunities for her than just building her brand online. Okay, so for you, line 4s, you need connection. If you're doing something where you don't have connection, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it, but you're going to be miserable, you're going to feel unfulfilled. You need connection. And also for you, routine is relational. So consistency can be built through community. So you're probably the person that loves like team sport, or loves to exercise with people, like park run and stuff like that, like going for walks with people and having really deep, meaningful conversations while you're walking, like, that sort of stuff. Anything building business wise, you're going to want to have meetings with people and work on it through that relationship, like this networking event. Okay, consistency can be built through community. All right, now line 5. Line 5s. I also have 2 line 5s in my house, 2 3 5s actually, and I have a couple of clients with the line 5. And line 5s, the problem solvers of the world. You are the problem solvers of the world. That can either be really overwhelming and hard for you, or it can be really empowering, depending on where you are in your journey, how aligned you are, because you have this like projection field that happens as a line 5, where if you are in shadow or unresourceful habits or not recognizing yourself or low vibrational state, you're going to be attracting people who are coming to you to solve their problem, but they don't want to take any responsibility for that problem themselves. They just want you to fix it. And when you can't fix it because it's not actually your problem to fix, they are going to hate you. And they're going to be mad at you and they're going to blame you, right? And it's all going to be about you and you didn't do it, even if it's not your problem to solve. So line 5s are sometimes called the heretic. But the thing is, your theme is like practical solutions and projection. Okay, so your core drive is I'm here to offer what works, because you know what works. You are born a problem solver, and you're really here to like find solutions to problems and then universalize them so that more people can use that solution, right? More people can solve that problem. So if you are aligned, you are in your resourceful energy, then the people coming to you to help solve their problem, they still want you to help them, but they're taking responsibility for it. They know it's their problem to solve, but they just want your support and guidance and your wisdom on like, what is a really good solution to this problem? I know it's my problem to solve, but can you just guide me in the right direction? Then I've got it from here. Okay. So you really are seen as a problem solver and a leader. But like I said, other people project their expectations onto you, whether it's helpful or not. Okay, this used to happen to Brent a lot because he is a line 5, and other people would project all of their expectations and problems onto him, and when he couldn't solve it for them because it wasn't his problem to solve, they would like blow up at him, right? In like work relationships, but also personal relationships as well. So what you're here to do is offer practical, universal solutions. You are here to do that, but you also need boundaries that you honor. You also really need to be committed to yourself, okay? Not trying to solve everybody else's problems, okay? That's not your job. Just because there is a problem doesn't mean it's your problem to solve. But you'll want to, because you have this drive and this desire to offer what works, okay? But you need to make sure that you have boundaries around that and that you're helping the people you're meant to help. You're not here to help everybody. You're here to help certain people, not everybody. And when you try to help everybody, it doesn't end well for you. So line 5s, you are like, impact is what you're here to do. You are here to impact and have like universal, wide-reaching impact. So you work best with practical impact. And for you, consistency thrives when there's a really clear why. Why am I doing this? Why am I implementing this practice? Why am I committing to this routine? Okay, if there's a really clear why, your consistency is going to thrive. If it's sort of wishy-washy and you're like, well, I'm just doing it because I should, or because I need to, or if you're not really sure why you're doing something, it's going to be hard for you to maintain that consistency and that commitment. All right, let's go to our line 6s. That's my other line. Okay, so this is my conscious line, so the first number in my combination. So the line 6s, you are role models. Okay, you popped out, and that's what you're here to be, a role model. And that can be really intimidating, but it just is what it is. You just are a role model, and just people naturally look up to you that way. And your theme is wisdom and perspective. Okay, so like, how cool is that? You're here to be a role model, here to be like this wise person, sharing your perspective. Cool. Except that your whole process takes a lot of time because, it takes time to cultivate wisdom and perspective. We don't just pop out with that. We have to cultivate wisdom and perspective based on what it is specifically this time around we're here to do. So, your core drive is to live in phases to embody your wisdom. And so for you, life unfolds in like these three distinct stages, and they do age bracket these stages, but again, individuality, right? Everything is individual, and how you move through these stages is going to depend on you, your circumstances, your level of how much you've grown and evolved, all of those things. How long you have been living consciously or unconsciously, all of these things. But there's three stages. So basically what they say is from 0 to 30, you basically align three. Everything's trial by error, everything's experimentation, everything's like showing up, getting it wrong, failing, coming back again, okay? And you'll try on lots of different hats. So you'll try on different like careers or different identities or different styles of things. And if I think about like me in high school, like, I tried the punk phase, I tried the emo phase, I tried the hippie phase, I tried the music phase. Like, I tried on lots of different things. So that's basically you in the first stage of life. In the middle stage, you're basically going to have like a little mini midlife crisis or spiritual awakening or something that's going to happen where you're going to be like, whoa, I need to stop. I need to stop. I'm exhausted from all of this experimenting. I want to go away from the world now, and I want to turn inward, and I want to really focus on me and unpacking all of these layers and all these different things I tried on and get rid of them all and figure out who the fuck I actually am and what's the wisdom that I want to build and create and learn, and what's the perspective that I want to have on the world. So they sort of call that your phase of like going on the roof. And that can be like from 30 to 50, but you can come up and down off the roof at different times. But it's really going to go inward, okay, and do a lot of internal reflecting, a lot of internal work, a lot of growth and expansion is going to happen in this time. And you're still going to go through experiences because you are here to create wisdom and perspective. You can't create wisdom and perspective without experiences. So that's going to happen, but it's going to start to become more targeted and more focused on like specifically what you're here to do now. And then once you come off the roof and they give the age of 50 plus, that's when you step into your role model era and you're like, okay, here's all the shit I've done. From all that shit, here's the wisdom and perspective that I have gained, and now I'm going to gift that to you. Okay, I'm going to gift that to you so that you can implement it in your own life. So you're going to gather experience really early on, then you're going to retreat to integrate all of that experience, and then eventually you're going to become a true role model, a leader. And quite often you're very big picture, very visionary, and you offer those big picture insights and embodied guidance. So you cannot guide something you haven't embodied yourself. Okay, you're here to embody the wisdom and perspective you have and then guide other people to do the same thing. So for you as a line 6, I'm sure you can already tell that consistent life moves in phases. So consistency is going to move in phases. It's going to be evolutionary. So just honor the stage that you're at, whether you're youth, you're maturing, or you're in the role model era. Okay, consistency is going to look different for you in those different phases of life. For me, like I am in that middle phase, so I'm doing the internal integration, right? So I'm figuring out, okay, what does consistency look like for me? What do I want to be committed to? What wisdom and perspective do I want to gain? Who's the person I need to be to create that? How does that person need to be? What do they need to be doing? Okay. And I'm also in the phase of early motherhood. So what does that look like? And how do I create consistency around the routines of 2 tiny humans, right? Like, what does that look like? Be an authentic human who loves, trusts, and accepts themselves completely. And by you embodying authenticity, you give permission for others to do the same in whatever way that looks like for you. We did it. We made it through. Okay, so those are the 6 profile lines and what consistency and routine looks like based on your profile lines. Now, those 6 numbers do come together in 12 different combinations. Okay, so like a line, a 3, 5, and the way those 2 lines come together creates something else as well. So, if you want to dive deeper, again, you can go down to the show notes. You can check out my mini series. I think it's like $30, my mini course on human design, the basics with your chart in front of you, understanding you, starting to learn human design so you can then learn to live your design. And if you are really ready to live your design, then Fearless Collective, because the thing with knowledge is great. Knowledge in itself is not power. That quote is not accurate. Knowledge is not power. Implemented, integrated knowledge is power. Embodied knowledge is power. Because otherwise, you understand something, but you don't really know it until you have integrated it and implemented it and embodied it. And that part is usually where you're going to need support to do it, which is why I have created the Fearless Collective. I don't want you to just know this stuff. I don't want you to just understand, oh yeah, line 1 this, line 2 that. Like, I want you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really hope you received exactly what you needed from it. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I'd also love to know what you thought, so please leave a comment or a review for me to respond to, or just come over and say hi on my socials. If you'd love to be a guest on the show, or maybe you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, then please send me a message. I absolutely love to connect. And really, this podcast is all about you. And your success. So tell me what you need to hear more of. If you really enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, or even better, send it to someone you know to spread the love. Let's get this authentic success movement happening. Okay, that's it from me. Big love. Now go out there and be amazing.